Right curve, side road. The road ahead curves right and a side road joins from the left. Within the curve, be alert for vehicles entering to roadway you are traveling on. Sharp right turn. Slow down and be prepared for a sharp right turn in the road ahead. Sharp right and left turns. Slow down and be prepared for the road ahead to turn sharply right, then left. Right and left curves. The road ahead curves right, then left. Slow down. Right curve with safe speed indicator. The road ahead curves right. Slow down to the safe speed limit indicator. Winding road. The road ahead winds with a series of turns of curves. On all curves, slow down for better control. Low ground railroad crossing. A stepped slope where the railroad tracks cross the road may cause the bottom of low vehicles to get caught or draw on the tracks. Railroad crossing. Advance warning signs are placed before a railroad crossing. These signs warn you to look, listen, slow down, and be prepared to stop for trains or any vehicles using the rails. Railroad crossback. This sign is a warning of a railroad crossing. Look, listen, slow down, and be prepared to stop for trains or any vehicles using the rails. Railroad crossback and the track indicator. If there is no more than one track, the sign below the crossback will indicate the number of tracks at the crossing. Slow down and be prepared to stop. Railroad crossback and flashing lights. Flashing lights might be used with crossback using signs. Always stop when the light begins to flash and be alert for approaching trains. Do not proceed until all trains or any other vehicles using the rails have passed, the tracks are clear, and the lights are no longer flashing. Be especially alert at multi-track crossing because a second train could be approaching from the opposite direction. Crossback, flashing lights, and gate. Gates are used with flashing light signals at some crossings. Stop when the lights begin to flash, and before the gate lowers, remain stopped until the gates are raised and the lights stop flashing. Do not attempt to drive around the lower gate. Pavement marking consistent on X and RR may be painted on the pavement at the approach to some crossings. When approaching railroad tracks, be alert. Trains might approach the crossing at any time and from either direction. Unless you can clear the tracks completely, never start crossing the tracks. Make sure there is room for your vehicle on the other side of the tracks before proceeding. If a dangerous condition exists at a rail crossing, call the number listed on the emergency signs. This will allow the rail company to stop or reroute approaching rail traffic until the hazard is removed. Be sure to give the posted crossing number so that the hazard can be identified correctly. If your car is stalled on the tracks, don't hesitate. Get out of the car right away and run diagonally away from the tracks in the direction of the oncoming train. In a work zone, the lives of highway construction workers depend on drivers like you obeying the posted speed limits. If you are convicted of exceeding the speed limit in a highway work zone, you may be fined up to $500. Remember, the color orange marks a work zone and means slow down and be alert. Rough road bump, or uneven lanes. These signs are used when certain road conditions, such as loose gravel or road constructions, affect the roadway surface and create potentially difficult conditions for motorists, especially motorcycles. Road constructions ahead, detour. These signs indicate a change in the traffic pattern or route ahead. Slow down, unusual or potentially dangerous conditions are ahead. Flashing arrow panels. Large flashing arrow panels or flashing message signs in work zones direct drivers to proceed into different traffic lines and inform them that part of the road ahead is closed. Flaggers. Flaggers are construction workers who normally wear orange or yellow vest or yellow-green shorts or jackets. They use stop, slow paddles, and red flags to direct traffic through the work zone and to let other workers or construction vehicles cross the road. Traffic control devices. Barricades, vertical signs, concrete barriers, drums, and cones are the most common devices used to guide drivers safely through work zones. When driving near the devices, keep your vehicle in middle of the lane and obey the posted speed limit. As you leave the work zone, stay in your line and maintain your speed. Don't change lines until you are completely clear of the work zone. Message boards. You may see portable or permanent message boards along roadways. They provide information about traffic, road, weather, or other hazardous conditions. Always obey any directions posted on these message boards for information about road conditions or road constructions. Slow-moving vehicles travel at 25 miles per hour or less, such as farm equipment and horse-drawn vehicles, must display these signs when using a public highway. Be prepared to adjust your speed or position when you see a vehicle with one of these signs. Pavement markings. Road marking guides and warn drivers as well as regulate traffic. Markings might be red, blue, yellow, or white. They might be used alone or in combinations. Each has a different meaning. Red markings are generally not used, but some communities do use red curves to indicate no parking zones. Red reflectors on the pavement show areas not to be entered or used. They are positioned on the road surface so that only traffic flowing in the wrong direction would observe them. Blue marking showed parking spaces for persons with disabilities. Yellow center lines mean two-line traffic flowing in opposite directions. Broken yellow center lines mean that passing on the left is allowed in either direction when the way ahead is clear. A broken yellow line alongside a solid yellow line means that passing is allowed from the side of the broken line, but not from the side of the solid line. Double solid yellow lines mark the center of the road and separate traffic traveling into different directions. Passing is not allowed in either direction. You may not cross the lines unless you are making a left turn. Broken white lines separate lines of traffic going in the same direction. You may change lines with caution. Dotted white lines are actually small rectangles in a series where each is closely spaced to the next. They are used to show line assignment in intersections and interchanges where there might otherwise be a tendency to drift out of a line or an area of intended use. Often they are used to guide to turning lines through the intersections. Dotted white lines are also used to denote the opening of a turn line at an intersection and entrance. Exit lines at interchanges. Many two-line roads in Virginia do not have line marking to separate the lines. On an unmarked two-lane road, you may pass a slow-moving vehicle on the left side if there are no signs prohibiting passing. Make sure that the way is clear. Solid white lines show turn lines and discourage line changes near intersections and at other locations where line changes might be dangerous. Solid white lines also mark the right edge of pavement. Arrows used with white lines indicate which turn might be made from the line. Stop lines, crosswalks, parking spaces also are marked by white lines.